What you can see here, I had a little accident. I let this thing go on for way too long, and it had gobs, and I thought I cleaned it up, and it kept on messing up, adding to the layers of gobs, and it just got to the point where it was just, you couldn't get anything to print on it. And I mean, you could tell like the heat break was jammed up all the way up, so it was no way to cool. It started heat creeping, and then everything is pretty much just caked on. A lot of the PLA and PETG is just carbonified on there. So I just bought some replacement parts from partsbuilt.com. They have a lot of OEM Prusa parts in the United States, so you don't have to wait for them to ship from the Czech Republic. So I pretty much just replaced my entire hot end. I got the thermistor, which is just a thermometer, because you need to know how hot the thing gets. The heater cartridge, which is one of these things. I already assembled it a little bit. The heat break, that is that in between neck thing. When this thing gets hot, the heat break keeps the hot from getting up top and melting the filament before it even gets there. You don't want that, because if it starts gumming up here, it's just going to cause problems. It's going to just be a mess. And then I got a copper heater block. I think the standard was aluminum for the original. So I went for the copper because it does disperse heat better. It is a tiny bit pricier, but it's pretty negligible, like $1 or $2 more. So I got the copper heater block. The heat break, the heater cartridge, which is this red coil here, and I have an extra one. So this pretty much just connects to the motherboard up here, and it's what heats up the heater block. So you pretty much just shove it into the hole. You use this little screw thing to tighten it down. Make sure that the heater block's kind of like in between. You want it centered so it can distribute that heat evenly. And then I still have to attach the thermistor. The thermistor is this little guy. So it's like a thermometer. And it works, it's the same thing. You just get this end, connect it to where it's supposed to go over here. And just like the heat cartridge, this goes through that little hole right here, and you tighten it with a little hex wrench right there. And then before I put it all together, I'm going to have to heat it up and attach the nozzle. The nozzle specifically you want to be the most secure, because you're going to have liquid plastic oozing out of here. So it's got to be really tight. It's got to be like the most secure thing you put on there. So you're going to have to heat this up so the block could get hot, and then you tighten it on there. Because if you put it on while it's cold, when it starts heating up, this is going to expand. It's going to warp a bit, because, you know, heat makes things expand a bit. And then it's going to, any tiny little hole, and this filament's going to be hot and molten under a lot of pressure. It's going to, if there's a tiny hole in there, it will find it, and then it won't come out of the tip of your nozzle, it'll come off the sides. And well, you don't want to end up right where you started. So once you assembled the heater block, the thermistor, you attach the heat break, then you want to heat it up and attach the nozzle while it's hot. And I don't know what any of this mess is, but I'm just going to follow this cable, and wherever I take this off from here, I'm going to attach the replacement immediately after that. And the same thing for the thermistor, which has seen better days here. I'm just going to follow this cable and pay attention to wherever I take it out. I want to put the replacement in. And then I'm probably going to have to reference the Prusa guide on how to assemble the whole print head on together again. I'm going to have to put the pin up back on with the brackets, and that's definitely going to require a new calibration, because if this thing was just a millimeter off or a fraction of it, you're going to have problems if you don't recalibrate everything. But this, the gear extruder, looks pretty good. I think I have to replace anything here. It looks like the damage was just on the hot end. So that's what I'm going to do.